Hey y'all, welcome back to the Blacksmith Garage. Today we're going to do something really simple on the bike. We are going to change out the passenger pegs. The passenger pegs that came with the Road Glide don't provide very much surface area, nor do they provide very much grip for the passenger. We, last weekend, took our first long ride together. So my wife was on the back, and we found that her feet were slipping off of the OEM pegs. So we went and explored some options. Now, um, we have the OEM pegs on the bike, which we will be switching out today. We also, a long time ago, when we first bought the bike, now heck, now 8 months ago, um, we I was looking to eliminate all the chrome, which the OEM pegs have a little bit of chrome on them. So I actually picked up a set of the larger Harley-Davidson mini floorboards for the passenger. And this is what those look like. They're bigger surface area. They provide a little bit more, what I would say, firmer rubber. But what we found is the rubber is what makes it slick. It doesn't have very much grip, and although it provides a larger surface area, um, it it it's still pretty slippery. So we went over and explored another option, and we picked out the mini floorboard from Thrashin. First thing I would suggest to do is go out and find a bike with these types of floorboards. Try them all before you commit to them. We have a local dealership, Texas Harley-Davidson, here in Bedford, Texas, that does some really incredible builds. And they put a bunch of Thrashin, bunch of Kraus, bunch of OG stuff on their bikes, which ultimately allowed me and my wife to try the different floorboards. I would suggest you do the same. So find your buddies that have bikes that have different floorboards, try your local dealerships, hog chapters, or just throw a comment out on one of the Facebook pages dedicated to some of these bikes and see if someone in your area has floorboards that you might be interested in just to try them out. You'll learn that there are different shapes, there's different textures, there's different colors. Every company seems to have their own little niche, little design. But why we went with the Thrashin is because it offered the nice texture, the width, like the Kraus. We were going to go originally with Kraus, and but this gave a bit more area for the floorboard. So Kraus is about this large, about this big. Um, you can see how large the mini foot peg is from Harley, and then compared to the small peg that it comes with on the bike, it's a drastic difference. So do that now. Try them out so you have the the understanding of the comfort, your size of foot versus the floorboards, and also find you a friend at your local dealership. Mine, Ryan, who's at Texas Harley Davidson, he's one of the sales guys there. Go hit him up if you need a new Harley. He let me know that they had a few bikes with the Kraus thrash and stuff on it. They do some great builds at Texas Harley Davidson here in Bedford, Texas. So I went and definitely had to make sure that my feet even fit and felt comfortable on these boards. So I'm going to throw up a picture here of me testing the floorboards. He told me I wouldn't do it, but here it is, and maybe one more time. And let's get into the install of these. I'm not going to take the pedal off. I am changing it over to the mini floorboard mounts. So this whole mount's going to come off. So go get yourself the right socket, and the bottom bolt is a different size than the top bolt. The top bolt is a 5/16. The bottom bolt is smaller. Next, we'll just go over to the other side and repeat the process. Now this will give you a good visual on the differences between the floorboard mount, the mini floorboard mount, and the OEM mount that is smaller. And we'll get measurements once we get it on the bike. Next thing we're going to do is install the new mount. Now, the instructions are a little bit funky, hence why they're Harley-Davidson instructions. They are going to give you a bolt like this, which is 5/16. They're going to give you a bolt like this, that is 3/8, and another bolt that's like this, that's a 3/8 as well. However, the threads are smaller, so you can see those three differences, well, two differences in the smallest bolt. So you're going to install the new floorboard mount. So what we have figured out through trying to put this on is you have a top bolt that's 5/16 and a bottom bolt that is 3/8. You'll see in the instructions that they actually show two bolts on the bottom. I am putting it together like it was from OE, one on the top, one on the bottom. Now, what we have found is if you put the top one in first, you can't get to the bottom one. So you can't get to the bottom one and lined up. So what we're going to do is thread in the bottom one first. Remember, it has blue Loctite on it, so it will go in a little less smooth, but this will allow you to get it mostly in before trying to conquer the top. And remember, the top is 5/16. You've got the top 5/16 in, you've got the first bottom 3/8 in, and then you're going to get the smaller bolt that has some white thread locker on it. It goes in your final bottom bolt. So you'll have three bolts: 5/16, 3/8, 3/8 small thread. So we're over on the other side, and we're just going to repeat the process. So remember, we have two larger threaded bolts. One's a 5/16, one's a 3/8, and then you have another smaller threaded bolt with a 3/8 head. And the one without a spacer, like this, will be on the top with a lock washer here. This will be the top of the bottom bolts. This one will go in first, and then you'll finish up with the bottom, which is the smaller threaded, and it will go into the lowest hole. We're going to start with the first bottom bolt. It's the only way to get it in. Move to the top bolt, which has a lock washer. Don't forget that lock washer. And then finish up with the 3/8 on the bottom, which has the smaller threads. Next thing you're going to do is put the floorboard onto the pivot point. Thrashin gave you 2 bolts. These bolts are 3/16. I put a little bit of blue Loctite on them. And then they're going to give you adjustment screws. These will help you tighten the floorboard down to the pins that go through the floorboard mount. Now here's the rest of the hardware. You have a spring, a small ball, and 2 pins. The spring and ball will go in first, and then you will set your floorboard on top of the mount and push these pins in. Next thing you're going to do is make sure that the overall mechanism is working. So it's going up and down smoothly. The pins are in. It doesn't want to lift off. And remember, on the inside, there are 2 tightening screws. You are going to tighten those now, and that will complete the install for the first side. We're going to go over to the other side and do the same. So like the other side, you're going to mount your pivot point to the mini floorboard. Make sure that it pivots before you install anything. A little bit of blue Loctite on the 3/16 bolts, and then your tightening screws. You have the same hardware. You have a small spring, which you are going to put in first, and then a ball on top, which will sit on top. You'll have your 2 pins ready, and then you will put your pins in. There you go. Make sure that it works. Nice. And then last step, tighten the back screws that help get a good grip on the inside pins. They're tightened down. Make sure the floorboard works. And it does. We wanted to provide some measurements. So the OEM floorboard is about 3 to 3.5 inches away from the bike. This will change with the mini floorboard mount. So as a comparison, the floorboard mount gives you about an extra inch. Here's the OEM foot peg. You can see that it's pretty small compared to the Thrashin floorboard. Comparing it then to the HD mini floorboard as well. So huge difference in surface area, in texture. It does bring the floorboard out a bit from the bike, but folds up nicely and doesn't get in the way of you riding and shifting or hitting your rear brake. So there it is. You have installed the HD floorboard mount and the Thrashin mini floorboards for your passenger. Now your passenger is happy. You made it through the install. Your passenger is going to thank you. Better position, more miles, and unlike others, I'm not trying to get away from my wife, and I'd love her to be on the back with me for a long time. So this will give her more comfort, better grip, and we'll be able to put those miles on the bike. Thanks again for coming back to the Blacksmith Garage. We appreciate you watching. Hopefully you like this content, like and subscribe, and look forward to the next video. See ya.